Thank you for joining us for this episode of Comply on the Fly with M3 and Karen B. Comply on the Fly is your trusted weekly resource for reliable insight and quick answers on common employee benefits compliance questions. Please note, this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. Seek the advice of counsel for any employee benefits compliance-related guidance or strategy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen B. And the Comply on the Fly topic for today is 2024 PCORI fees. What are they and how do I pay them? The PCORI fee has been around for a while now, since 2012 to be exact, and it will be around until 2029. PCORI, or PCORI, stands for Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute, and fees to fund this institute apply to fully insured and self-funded group health plans. The fees are paid annually and are due by July 31st, so it is a perfect time to discuss how the fees apply and where to pay them. First of all, if you only sponsor a fully insured plan without an HRA, or what we call a health reimbursement arrangement, you will not need to proactively pay these fees, and the fully insured carrier pays them on your behalf. However, if you have a self-funded health plan, including an HRA that is integrated with a fully insured plan, because the HRA is actually a self-funded plan, you will need to pay the fees directly to the IRS. Employers that have an HRA integrated with a self-funded medical plan do not have to pay separate fees for both self-funded plans. If you have some other type of plan, such as a level-funded plan, it would be a good idea to check with the carrier or administrator to check if they are paying the fees on your behalf or if you will have to submit them directly. Second, what are the fees? Well, the fees are based on your plan year for your health plan, and the applicable amounts change each October 1st. This year, for plan years that end in the months between January 1 and September 30th of 2023, the applicable fee is $3 per covered life under the plan. For plan years that ended between October 1st, 2023 and December 31st of 2023, the applicable fee is $3.22 per covered life. For instance, a calendar year plan of January 1, 2023 to December 31st of 2023 would owe $3.22 per covered life on the plan during that plan year. If you need to see a visual of plan years and corresponding fees, visit m3ins.com and type in PCORI or PCORI to find our article and chart. Third, how do you determine the number of covered lives under the plan if you are required to pay the PCORI fee? Well, there are different methods for determining the number of covered lives. The actual count method, which requires you to count the number of covered lives each day of the plan year and divide by the number of days in that plan year. The snapshot method, which requires you to add the total of covered lives on a date during the first, second, or third month of each quarter of the plan year and divide by 4. All dates that are used must fall within the same plan year. Next, the snapshot factor method. So in this particular method, in the case of self-only and other than self-only coverage, you determine the sum of the number of participants with self-only coverage plus the number of participants with other than self-only coverage and multiply that number by 2.35 and then add those two numbers together for your number of covered lives. Finally, the Form 5500 method. And in this method, you use the counts from the 5500 filing for the year that you are paying the fee for and add the number of participants at the beginning of the plan year and the number at the end for the total number of covered lives. Once you have the number of covered lives for the plan year, you will have to enter that number on Form 720, which is an IRS quarterly excise tax return form. If you normally file quarterly excise taxes on Form 720, this will just be part of your second quarter filing. If PCORI fees are the only item for you on Form 720, you will just fill out that section and file. The section is Part 2, line 133, under Applicable Self-Insured Plans, and you will fill in the number of covered lives and multiply by the corresponding fee per covered life. Remember, for this year, it is either $3 or $3.22, depending on your plan year. The current Form 720 does not have the correct amounts listed yet. We will let you know when they provide an updated form. And that is your Comply on the Fly topic of the day. Thanks for tuning in.
For more compliance insights from Karen B., please visit m3ins.com. You can also follow and subscribe to Comply on the Fly on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.